Nissan have a strategy to gain back market share they've lost in China and worldwide over the last 5 years. They've lost, I believe, 49% of their market share in China. Their strategy to gain back market share is it's controversial. It's kind of some people might think it makes sense, but I think that people will see through it. I think people are going to see through it and realize what is actually going on, and therefore that is why I think it's doomed to fail. Today, Nissan announced it is cancelling its new electric car that it was going to manufacture in the United States. And on the same exact day, it revealed its new Chinese electric vehicle, which it plans to sell not just to the Chinese, but also outside of China as well. Did I mention the US automotive industry could be in a bit of trouble? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Nissan, they are in trouble themselves. And they are hoping that Honda will bail them out. It's not a done deal, though. Remember, Nissan has to triple its profit over the next... I'm just laughing. Over the next 12 to 18 months, the deal with Honda bailing out Nissan is a requirement of that deal going ahead is that Nissan triples its profit. Now, Nissan has no idea how it's going to do that. But obviously, manufacturing an electric car in the United States won't help Nissan to triple its profit. So instead of that, it's going to manufacture more EVs in China, which I think actually is a good idea. Not for Americans, but it's a good idea for Nissan if it wants to stay alive. The Nissan N7 electric sedan, developed jointly by the Japanese automaker with China-owned Dongfeng, in other words, this car was developed by Dongfeng, will enter the Chinese market in May 2025. This car is Nissan's plan to make a comeback to the market, particularly to the Chinese car market, after 5 years of consecutive sales declines. Did you hear that correctly? 5 years of consecutive sales declines. Now, this vehicle is not going to save Nissan. This should have been what the Nissan Sylphy should have been this car, at least 3 or 4 years ago, right around when Tesla was launching the Model 3 in China. But at that time, Nissan was much more interested in profits. And it was making literally billions of dollars in China selling internal combustion cars. The Nissan Sylphy was a sedan, similar size to a Tesla Model 3, but it was internal combustion. Old school, made a lot of money for the company. And I mean a hell of a lot of money. That's why Nissan loved it. And it was the best-selling car in China until it wasn't, until it was old and people decided that actually it wasn't actually really all that good. The N7 is a 5-meter long sedan. It's a similar size to a Tesla Model 3. It has 268 horsepower, which is not a lot to be honest. And well, Nissan is hoping that it can reverse the company's declining fortunes. Nissan has long been losing its market position in China for 5 consecutive years, says Car News China. The Japanese company's sales volume in the Middle Kingdom in 2024 fell by 49% compared to 2019. 49% compared to 2019. Now, keep in mind, this is not the Chinese automotive industry shrinking. Like, you're probably going to see some YouTubers saying, oh, yeah, it's just because the car industry in China it's crashing. That's completely false. The data shows the car industry in China is bigger now, or in 2024, than what it was in 2019. In fact, in 2024, more than 31 million cars were sold in China. That's an increase. Now, this drop in Nissan sales is caused by the growing trend for good electric cars, good value electric cars with good software, and also for plug-in hybrids. And Nissan severely lags behind other car makers by selling a single EV model in China, the Nissan Ariya SUV. And this is what Car News China said about the Nissan Ariya SUV, which is brand new to Australia and many other markets. They say it's showing its age. That's hilarious, right? I mean, you can see why they're saying this sort of thing, right? For example, here's one car that came to my mind when I read this comment, the Zeekr 001. They updated the Zeekr 001 about 12 months ago. Then 6 months after that, they brought out a new update again. And people were like complaining that the technology was improving too quickly. But that's what Nissan has to contend with. And as you know, legacy automakers don't move that fast. In fact, they've mentioned many times that they can't believe how fast the Chinese companies are moving. Nissan needed a comeback plan in China to stop a series of failures, says Car News China. So the Japanese car maker launched a joint project with China-owned Dongfeng in car development. The first product from these two parties is the Nissan N7 electric sedan. Well, the thing is with this, right? It may sell, it may not, I'm not sure. But either way, Nissan only owns 50% of every car that it sells because this is a joint venture partnership. So when Nissan sell these outside of China, Dongfeng will get 50% of the profits, if there are any profits, or 50% of the losses if there are any losses. But it does mean the upside is severely limited. The Nissan N7 electric sedan was first released at the Guangzhou Auto Show to redefine a new benchmark for pure electric cars among Chinese families. Yeah, that's yet to be seen if that's going to happen. I would say it's unlikely. Now, the N7 will enter the Chinese market in May this year. And remember, Nissan have said that because it's cheaper for them to produce cars in China, they will start selling their Chinese-made vehicles outside of China as well. The Nissan N7 is said to be underpinned by a new electric architecture jointly developed by Nissan and Dongfeng, but a lot of people are saying it's actually just a Dongfeng 007. Now, Dongfeng have a car called the EN007 sedan, and it's actually, it looks like the same car, and it's exactly the same size. So this is actually not a Nissan car after all, it's actually a Dongfeng. They share the same exact wheelbase, 2,915 millimeters, exact to the millimeter. The body width is exact to the millimeter, exactly 1,895 millimeters. The output of the N7's powertrain is also exact as well, to the exact horsepower number. So it's a Dongfeng. Anyhow, the Nissan N7 is big. It's 4.9 meters long, it's 1,895 millimeters wide, and 1,487 millimeters tall. The entry-level version has, I think, a bit underpowered for a car this size and weight. It's got a 160 kilowatt, 215 horsepower single motor. The more powerful version has 200 kilowatt or 268 horsepower. It uses lithium iron phosphate batteries, and it's manufactured in Dongfeng's factory in China. The exterior of the Nissan N7 uses the brand's V-Motion design language, and this sedan has a drag coefficient of 0.208, which is obviously a completely made-up number that they've just pulled out of a hat. The chances of it having a drag coefficient that is that low is, well, it's not even possible. Anyhow, on the front, the N7 has interactive LED panels with 710 light units. 710. Another feature of the car is a single interactive tail light strip with 882 light units. So, in other words, the car has on the outside alone more than 1,500 light units. How that's going to go. The cabin uses, or the actual architecture of the car, it uses the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8295P chip, which is a positive, and the intelligent driving system has been developed by Dongfeng Nissan and Momenta. In other words, Momenta developed the intelligent driving system, so it actually might be pretty good. The N7 is similar, like I said, to Dongfeng's car, which was the original version of this car. And the pricing is very good. Starts at 18,000 US dollars. The most expensive version is 20,000 US dollars. Now, the Nissan version apparently will cost 21,950 for the cheapest version and 24,700 US dollars for the most expensive version. So because it's got a Nissan badge, they've put a 10% price premium on top. Now, Nissan's CEO in China have said the company will launch 4 more new energy vehicles over the next 12 months after the market debut of the Nissan N7. Nissan is determined to gain back lost market share in China, but in doing so, it won't be doing it with its own cars. Nissan does not have the funds to develop 4 cars over the next 12 months, and no one can develop cars that quickly. No one. Not even BYD, I don't think. Anyway, maybe. So Nissan will actually use Dongfeng's vehicles and simply rebadge and rebrand them as Nissan vehicles and sell them at a 10% price premium. That's their strategy to take back market share in China and worldwide. I actually think that's a really bizarre idea because people will know this. I mean, customers aren't stupid. Have a look at how much, jump on Facebook and social media. Yeah, people say some really retarded things, but most people actually do a lot of research and they know a lot of stuff about cars. They're going to know they're just going to be buying a Dongfeng with a Nissan badge on the front that costs 10% more. I don't reckon that's going to work, but you know what? Who knows? I certainly could be wrong. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.